for the Ultimate Moving Abroad Prep Kit Excel version. This video is going to talk about how to use the visa checklist, and it is a little bit easier than the monthly budget planner, but a little bit longer than the passport checklist. So if you are applying for a visa, please go ahead and choose the visa application icon there, and it will jump you over to the application preparation checklist. Now, this is a lot like the passport checklist in that we have a progress bar up here. And as you check different things off, it is going to change your progress bar, and you'll be able to see how much you have done and how much you have left to do, which is a great way to keep track of whether you're on pace or falling behind with your progress of filling out your visa application and applying, because it does generally require a lot of things. So this is actually going to be different for every country, and that's the country that you're coming from, as well as the country that you're going to. So different countries will all have slightly different requirements. Some of them will be the same, but not all of them generally. There will be different things that some countries may ask for in regards to the different requirements that you need. So I have all of these things typed out here, and some of these things may or may not apply to the type of visa that you are applying for, but you can go ahead and change these. So for example, let's say you're applying for a digital nomad visa, and instead of business and investment bank statements, maybe they want to see a business plan or something. You can go ahead and type that in, and that will be saved in your worksheet so that you can keep track of how your progress is coming along for that specific requirement. As you go through here and mark these off, you'll be able to see your progress, but there's 3 different levels here, which is kind of confusing if you don't know what they mean. So I'm going to quickly explain. Prep here basically means that you have prepared something. This is going to be for things like, documents that require language translations, documents that require apostilles. For our visa process, we needed to get all of our birth certificates apostilled, which meant that our government had to put a very fancy stamp on it and say that it was an official government document. And it takes a while to get that. So I had to prep the apostille. I had to get all of my documents ready and get the addresses to the government agencies I needed to apply for. And then I had to send them all off to the agencies. So I had to send one for one of my child's birth certificates. I had to send to Colorado. I had to send some to Florida, etc. So that is why we have a sent column as well, because there's going to be things when applying for your visa that you send out and mail out, or that you apply for, such as a background check. And then when you get those back and they are ready to go into your application folder, you can go ahead and mark those things as ready. So you've prepared, filled out the application for the apostille, you've sent the apostille, you've gotten it back, and it's ready to go. If some of these things don't apply, so for example, your application form, you don't send it anywhere, you can just mark those off, and your progress tracker bar is going to account for that automatically. So it will just mark them as done, and you'll get credit for having that progress. That is pretty much it for this. So you can go ahead and keep track of all these different documents, and especially if there's multiple people, if it's a couple applying or if it's a couple with children applying, it can become very tedious to keep track of everything. So this is just here to help you keep track of what you've gotten and what you haven't. So for example, if you've gotten the apostilles back from one child but not another, you'll be able to see that by marking these off. And that just helps you follow up on anything that may be falling behind that you still need, or perhaps it got lost in the mail. Hopefully nothing does. but it's just a great way to keep track of everything and quickly see where you stand and what you still need. Hopefully this helps you, and if you have any questions about what these different requirements are, for example, a health certificate from the doctor, that is probably one of the most commonly researched things, I guess, in terms of a visa application, because most people aren't really sure and most government websites aren't super clear about what that is. So if you come down to the bottom here, I have a document details page. And here I just go into a brief explanation of what these different documents are. And of course, these are going to be slightly different depending on the country and it's the specific requirements to the visa you're applying for. But for example, for the health certificate with the letterhead, stamp, and signature, I make a clear reference for what you need to do and what it needs to have. And I also have a link here to go to our blog post so that you can see the exact example of what we had to get from our doctor and what it looks like, what it said, etc. So anything that I've already blogged about or written about, I did put links here, and I hope to keep blogging about this process as time goes on so that there will be as much information as possible on our blog. So you can go ahead and dig through our blog for any information about the visa process if you have any questions as well. That is it for the visa checklist. Please don't forget to email me if you have any questions, and hopefully you enjoy using this kit. I will see you in the next video.